Hello there, my name's Patrick Johnson. I'm a police sergeant with the Metropolitan Police. I'm also a bike trainer, and what we're going to do in this series of programs is look at bike safety, bike maintenance, riding. We learn some extra skills that you can use to keep yourself safe out on the streets of London. Well, this is the bike I ride. It's a Smith & Wesson custom police bike. It's about 5 years old, this one, but you can see these bikes are absolute workhorses. It needs a bit of a clean at the moment, which we're going to look at in a minute. So if you just take a look at the bike for a second. So at the front here we've got the disc brake and the Judy RockShox, and also the quick release on both the wheels as is standard. So what we're going to do now is the drop test, which is just as it says on the tin. We're going to pick up the bike and we're going to drop it from 6 to 8 inches, but we're going to listen. We're going to listen for anything, apart from the derailleur going up and down. We're going to listen to anything that sounds loose. We're going to listen for anything that sounds different from when you did the last drop test. What happened there is the quick release mechanism bolt had worked loose from the frame through constant riding, and that's what the drop test's for. It puts extra pressure onto those parts, and will show you if they're loose, which then it makes a bit of an odd noise. One thing you have to be careful of is that the quick release is facing in the downward position and tightened up just beyond finger tight. The tyre pressure you should have while patrolling should be between 60 and 80 psi, pounds per square inch, and the way you check if your tyre has gone below that is you squeeze the tyre from either side and then put your weight down on the tyre and see how much bulges out at the front and the back. Bike cleaning. So bike cleaning should be done on a weekly basis, and what you want to do is turn the bike over and get in there with a washing up brush and some soapy warm water. Get right under the bike and get that gunk and old grease away. You want to just get the brush in there and make sure you get rid of any big lumps of dirt and coagulated grease. And don't worry about getting it wet. It gets wet when it rains anyway. Once you've got it clean, wipe it down with a dry towel. After that you need to lube up all the bearings and the pressure points and the chain. Just a little bit, a drop on each will do. This is wet lubrication by myself. I find this to be the cheapest, the most efficient way of keeping the chain lubed. You can also use it on the bearings as well. The way I'm going to flip the bike back over is grab onto the fork and to the bike stay and just take the weight with my legs. That concludes the section on bike maintenance. Please answer the questions below. Part 2, Section 1, on the road training, the emergency stop. The emergency stop is very, very important. The whole thing with stopping is your weight is thrown forward, and if you pull the front brake too hard, you'll be sailing right over the handlebars. The key here is to get your weight all the way back, so your bum goes off the back of the bike and your chest is on the bike seat and you step back onto the road. The progressions to this skill are quite simple. You have to get used to sitting up on the bike, getting your butt right back and getting your chest onto the seat of the bike. You have to practice this one over and over because it feels a bit weird, but if you practice it enough it becomes second nature, and when you need to stop you'll stop and not go over the handlebars. On the road training, slow speed control. With slow speed control you need to get the bike into a hill climbing gear, which is the granny ring at the front and the higher ring at the back. That means you're going to get a lot of revolutions of your pedals to less revolutions of your wheel. Then what you do is you half pull your back brake. Seems a little odd, but you can press against this and keep stability, which allows you to go very, very slow. Slow speed control is great for use in crowds, Notting Hill Carnival, Leicester Square, where you can stay on the bike and you're not dangerous to pedestrians. The test for slow speed control is the hollow square, where you've got cones set out, should be 1 metre apart in a U shape, and you've got to go in one side and out the other using slow speed control and not touch the cones. If you touch the cones you fail. You've got to go in through one side, out through the other side and back the other way again. It's not easy.